She was just holding a bucket in front of me. I'm just throwing up everywhere. That moment, I pretty much was like, okay, this is the end of the road for me. I can't believe I came to Mexico to die.
The day of the surgery, and I'm not joking about this, they both came in with like a really big block of ice. I was there probably an hour lying there with the ice.
That's an automatic burn after 15 minutes.
Dr. Ice was your anesthesiologist.
Dr. Ice was my anesthesiologist. I'm not kidding.
The problem with using ice as an anesthetic agent is that it kills the tissue before you operate on it. So he essentially was operating through dead skin, which just wouldn't heal properly. You know, you have a really significant problem. I don't mean just cosmetically, I mean just physiologically in the tissues. So we really need to have a very close look at your stomach and see if there's enough loose skin to do the job we need to do. So let's go take a look.
Okay,
all right? As far as things that can go wrong with a tummy tuck, Desiree had every one of those things occur. There are things I need to know. What we theoretically can do is make an incision here, and lift everything up, and lift the pubic skin up as well, and bring it down and stitch it down here to put everything back where nature wants it.
I just kind of have that feeling there'll be a brilliant outcome, but I'm ready to take the risk.
And fingers crossed that this heals beautifully, okay?
So, and you're gonna get the fat from the back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My name is Albert. I am 29 years old, and I am from Modesto, California. And I am literally missing my left pec. As a bodybuilder, it sucks, actually. As a child, I was always a happy person and everything. I have a very close family, and I thought I was normal. But in high school, I think it was sophomore year, I took a weight training class and I just developed a love for it, and it's kind of like a high. Like, I love to be in the gym, I love lifting weights, and that's when I started noticing that my right side was growing muscle, and then my left side wasn't catching up at all. My mom had taken me to the doctor just to see exactly what was going on, and the doctor told me that I had Pullman syndrome, and it's a rare case of when males develop just one side of their chest. And so I've seen pictures of other guys, and they actually had pec implants, and that's actually when I really started doing my research on this. At that time, my aunt had mentioned that there was a doctor in Mexico. He had done work on another relative, breast implants, and she said he was a really great doctor, and then I was really anxious just to get it done, and it was gonna be like maybe half the cost. And once we got there, he said it'd be $3 grand, and then everything would be good and whatnot. So I was just like, okay, let's do this. They started like putting some drugs in me and whatnot, and I instantly fell asleep. I woke up the next day, I believe, and I was just super sick. Like, there was this random nurse lady. She didn't speak English, so she was just holding a bucket in front of me. I'm just throwing up everywhere. That moment, I pretty much was like, okay, this is the end of the road for me. I can't believe I came to Mexico to die. But luckily, as soon as I saw my mom, I just rose from the dead like a zombie. I'm like, hey, we gotta get out of here. We have to leave. This is not good. As soon as we got back, we rushed to the hospital and went and saw a doctor, and he obviously had no idea what was in there. So he said that my body was rejecting it. So he was like, okay, we definitely need to get that out as soon as we can. And he was able actually to do a really good job. I felt relieved that I made it out alive, but at the same time, I couldn't believe I had went through all that just to make it look worse and feel worse about it. I thought about it every single day. I was depressed for like 6 months, and I just didn't even want to work out anymore. I kind of gave up on everything.
So what are we gonna hit?
Let's do chest and shoulders today. Might as well. After about 10 months, I met Jessica. That's when I started working out again.
How I hated the gym 2 years ago.
2 years of hard work.
Because of you.
Jessica is my girlfriend. She competes. She's already done 2 competitions. How many you got?
15.
Come on, 5 more. It's a bittersweet thing. Like, I love watching her and being part of that. But at the same time, I wish I could actually compete in a bodybuilding competition. I think this upcoming year, I want to do my first show bad. If I get my test in, then I will compete. I work out every single day. I love to work out. It's been like a dream for me to step on stage and feel like a real bodybuilder.
You do it. You're doing it.
But I can't even enter a competition just because of my insecurities about my chest.
When I first started working out, I didn't do chest. I was always awkward and unbalanced. Over the years, I've learned how to control the weight.
There's just that one thing that I've wanted my whole life, and I do feel like my left pec is like the last missing piece of the puzzle.
So what procedures have you had?
I've had 13 surgeries.
Oh my God.
In what period of time?
And I was so pretty before, but I'm just more elegant now. Almost a year.
Were you put under anesthesia 13 times in the last year?
No. 3.
Oh, okay, so multiple operations done at once.
Correct.
In plastic surgery, sometimes we do multiple procedures. Now, they may be small, but you can have up to 5 or 6 procedures at one time, as long as it's safe.
Why are you so serious like that? That is so funny.
Well, as I'm pondering this conversation for a minute of trying to figure out why would you want to do that much of a transformation that quick?
Are you married?
No.
You're single?
I was married for like 10 years, but
Oh, really?
no, I'm single.
How long after you broke up did you start having these surgeries?
Oh, like 4 to 5 months.
It is very common for people after a traumatic event or a breakup to come in and want to have plastic surgery, but you have to be very careful of those individuals that they're doing it for the right reasons and that they don't have unrealistic expectations. That can be a real red flag.
So Dr. Dubrow and I know a little bit
Okay.
from your history that you had 1 rhinoplasty.
I've had 1. They told me I was going to be under twilight. I was awake the whole time.
Oh, boy. When someone's put under twilight sleep, that means they're breathing on their own, and they're giving them a little bit of medicine in their IV, and they just kind of go. However, with me and the type of cases that we do, they're long procedures, and that's why we like a full general anesthesia. You don't remember hearing him go like tap, 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 tap?
I remember
like,
all of that. He was
like fracturing your nasal bones
and
and
like
all that?
whatever he was doing in there, like I remember I was the whole thing.
If you don't give them the right amnestic medication, which makes you forget everything, you're gonna remember everything, especially like when they're breaking your nose and they're fracturing your bones.
Waking up in the middle of a surgery gives you a post-traumatic stress disorder a lot of times,
Yeah.
and it can make you forever be afraid of ever having surgery again or anything associated with the medical system.
I do have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, as a doctor, we stand up and do the Hippocratic Oath. I will do no harm. Your doctor did you harm.
The next step for us to do is examine your nose and see what we can do.
Okay, perfect.
Sarcoidosis is an autoimmune disease kind of similar to lupus. For me, it affects my skin. I was 19 years old when my mom started noticing that around my eyes, you could see that it was a little bit puffy, a little bit swollen, and I did a lot of blood tests, but the doctors did not know what was going on. And by 2012, my face started leaning. And it just kept going. I was just like, are you gonna stop? Come on now. And it just ended up being like this, where I have hollowed cheeks. It wasn't until 2015 that a doctor finally figured out that I had sarcoidosis. I had an emotional breakdown. It was really tough. I started going to the doctors, and I've done everything from derma rolling, putting collagen creams on my face. Nothing's happening. I have my angles down packed when it comes to selfies, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I feel like giving up. I'm tired of feeling devastated and pissed off, like, why is this happening? These bones, girl, don't be gone. Because it's time for Juicy Face again. Juicy Face.
Kofa.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
Good to
How
see
you doing, young lady?
So this is my anesthesiologist, Dr. Mest. He's the world specialist in this facial filling process for you. I mean, he's the guy who got the stuff FDA approved, okay?
I'm excited.
I'm super excited to help you out.
Living with sarcoidosis is very challenging. My face is skin and bones. So I'm just curious to see what I'm gonna look like.
So, Kofa, what's nice about this, you have some immediate filling with the hyaluronic acids, and then the long-term, basically your body producing your own collagen from Sculptra. Injecting Kofa, we can definitely feel the damage that the sarcoidosis has done. Usually when you put in a needle and inject, the needle goes back and forth real easy. However, with Kofa, the needle is not flexible, and there's a lot of ridges on the cheek. These are all signs of some inflammatory process that has occurred in Kofa's face.
Smile for me.
And this is just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
Wow.
My face has regained its fullness. I look like myself again, and I feel great. My Juicy Face is back.